All right, so today we're diving into The Secret,
Yeah.
that book that like everyone's talking about or like side-eyeing.
Yeah.
You know, the one by Rhonda Byrne?
Mm-hmm.
It claims to like reveal the law of attraction
Right.
that everyone from ancient Babylonians to like modern day, millionaires are using.
Yeah.
So we're gonna like dig into it,
Okay.
see what we can get out of this whole secret thing.
That's good.
And, maybe find some stuff that's actually useful for, regular people like us.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely interesting how that book really taps into this idea that there's like a hidden key to unlock a better life.
Totally. And it presents this secret, like it's this universal principle,
Right.
which is a really powerful idea.
Yeah.
And like right off the bat,
Yeah.
it dives into this whole law of attraction thing.
Okay.
I'm sure a lot of you listening are already familiar with the concept, like but on a thought level.
Yeah.
But the secret gets really interesting because it goes beyond just like, thinking positively.
Mm-hmm.
It says that your mind is like a transmission tower
Oh.
that's constantly broadcasting your thoughts as frequencies into the universe.
A pretty wild image.
Right.
It makes you think about how our thoughts aren't just these like fleeting things in our heads.
Totally.
They could actually be energetic forces.
Yeah.
Shaping our reality.
So it's like not just about thinking happy thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
We're actually emitting a frequency that the universe is responding to.
That's what the book says.
And to like prove its point, The Secret brings up all these historical examples.
Right.
Did you know it says that the ancient Babylonians used this secret
I did not know that.
to amass all their wealth?
Interesting.
And they were known for being incredibly wealthy.
Yeah. And all their architectural marvels.
Exactly, like the Hanging Gardens.
Yeah.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah, that is where the book starts to get a little,
Controversial.
Yeah.
But before we dive into all that, let's look at some of the other concepts that The Secret presents as these user manuals
Okay.
for the law of attraction.
Okay, I'm listening.
One that really stuck with me was this idea of the don't want epidemic.
Don't want epidemic.
Yeah, okay.
The book argues that so many of us are unknowingly sabotaging ourselves by focusing on what we don't want.
Oh, I see.
Like debt,
Yeah.
loneliness, that extra weight.
Okay.
We focus on all the negatives.
Yeah.
And then, according to the law of attraction,
Right.
we attract more of those things.
Interesting.
It's like that downward spiral we've all experienced where one negative thought
Yeah.
leads to a whole avalanche of negativity.
I've definitely been there.
Right.
So The Secret is saying that our feelings are like feedback from the universe,
Oh, okay.
letting us know if we're on the right track or not.
Okay.
So good feelings are like a signal that we're aligned with what we want.
And then bad feelings
Yeah.
are a sign that we need to shift our thinking.
So it's like our feelings are a built-in guidance system.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
It's an interesting way to think about it.
Yeah.
I mean, and The Secret has all these stories about people
Oh, yeah.
who use this principle and it totally changed their life.
Right. Like that one about Bill Harris's student,
Oh, yeah. What was his name?
Robert.
Robert.
He was struggling with negativity in every area of his life.
Oh, wow.
His job, his relationships, even his stand-up comedy gigs.
No way.
Yeah. And Harris told him to shift his focus
Okay.
from what he didn't want
Yeah.
to what he did want.
Okay. So, what happened?
The book says that within weeks,
Wow.
the negativity in his life just decreased.
Seriously?
Yeah, it's presented as this miraculous turnaround.
Just from changing his thoughts.
Yeah.
That's wild.
But how do we actually do that?
Right.
How do we break free from all those negative thoughts
Yeah.
and start attracting the good stuff?
The Secret has a process for that, right?
They outline a 3-step process.
Okay.
They call it the creative process.
Oh, okay.
Ask,
Hmm.
believe,
Mhm.
receive.
Interesting.
So first, you clearly define what you want.
Okay.
And then this is the crucial part.
Mm-hmm.
You start believing that you've already received it.
Like fake it till you make it.
Yeah, but on a deeper level, an
Yeah.
energetic level.
Interesting.
And then comes the receiving part,
Okay.
which means feeling the emotions
Yeah.
of already having what you want.
Powerful.
And The Secret says that this emotional alignment is key
Huh.
to manifesting your desires.
Makes sense.
And this all ties into the whole concept of visualization,
Right.
which The Secret is really big on.
Yeah, they have that fun little kitchen visualization exercise.
Oh, yeah, the one where they describe a kitchen in detail and
Yeah.
they tell you not to picture yours.
Yeah, but your mind does it anyway.
Right.
That's a good one.
It's a clever way to show that everyone has this ability.
Yeah, even if they don't realize it.
And the book is full of stories about people manifesting things through visualization.
Like what kind of stories?
Well, remember that one about Jack Canfield?
Who's that?
He's the co-creator of the Chicken Soup for the Soul books.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
He manifested his dream home
What?
years after he had put a picture of a practically identical house on his vision board.
Whoa.
It's crazy.
Yeah, that's a pretty good example
Right.
of how powerful our thoughts can be.
Yeah, even when we don't realize it.
That's pretty wild.
But here's what I'm curious about.
What's that?
The Secret talks a lot about manifesting parking spaces
Uh-huh.
and winning lottery tickets.
Yeah.
But does it offer any practical advice for the bigger stuff in life?
Like what?
Like weight,
Like
finances, relationships,
Yeah.
even health.
Well, it does make some pretty bold claims when it comes to weight loss.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like what?
It says that food doesn't actually make you fat.
Wait, what?
It's your thoughts about food that do.
So my late night pizza cravings are
Right.
because of my thoughts.
Yeah, not the pizza itself.
That's a tough one to swallow.
It is.
Literally.
Yeah, it is.
So Rhonda Byrne actually shares her own weight loss journey in the book.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she says that she used to be overweight because of fat thoughts.
Okay.
And now she's at a healthy weight
Uh-huh.
because she focuses on feeling good about her body.
Okay. So what's the advice?
Instead of obsessing over losing weight,
Yeah.
focus on your ideal weight and how you'll feel when you reach it.
So shift the focus from lack to abundance.
Exactly.
And I bet they say the same thing about money.
They do. They say to focus on wealth, not lack.
Makes sense.
And they even have this exercise
What is it?
where you fill out a Bank of the Universe check
Oh,
to visualize getting the exact amount of money you want.
interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, what about relationships?
They have advice for that too.
What is it?
They say to focus on what you appreciate about the other person,
Okay.
not your complaints.
That's good advice.
Yeah, and they have this really interesting story about an art director
Okay.
who was struggling with his love life. And a feng shui expert noticed
Oh, wow.
that he had all these paintings of women turning away from him
Wow.
all over his apartment.
Wow.
So she suggested that he replace them
Okay.
with images of happy romantic relationships.
And guess what?
What?
A year later, he was in a committed relationship.
No way.
Yeah, they present it as this powerful example
Man.
of how our thoughts can literally shape our reality.
Even through art.
Yeah.
That's fascinating.
Okay, so they cover relationships and finances.
Uh-huh.
But what about health?
Oh, yeah.
They talk about that too.
Okay.
And again, they make some really bold claims.
Like what?
They say that illness is held in the body by thought.
So if we change our thinking,
Yeah.
we can heal ourselves. That's what they're saying.
Okay.
And they use the placebo effect as evidence.
Mm-hmm.
People experience real healing simply because they believe a treatment will work.
Right.
But what about serious illnesses?
Yeah.
Is positive thinking really enough?
That's a good question.
The Secret shares some pretty amazing stories about people overcoming crazy health challenges.
Like what?
Well, there's one about Morris Goodman.
Okay.
He was known as the Miracle Man.
The Miracle Man.
Yeah.
What did he do?
He was in this horrific plane crash.
Oh, no.
And he was completely paralyzed.
Wow.
The doctors told him he'd be a vegetable for life.
Oh, my God.
But he focused all of his mental energy on visualizing himself walking again.
Hey.
And within months,
Wow.
he walked out of the hospital on his own 2 feet.
No way.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
That's a pretty incredible story.
It is.
But I'm already thinking about all the criticisms.
Wow. I can see where this is going.
I mean, what about all the people who are struggling with illness and they haven't experienced a miraculous healing?
Yeah. Does that mean they're just not thinking positively enough?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
And it's something we'll definitely talk about more
Okay.
in part 2 of this deep dive.
That's good.
We'll explore the criticisms and potential downsides of The Secret
Okay.
and some of the more controversial claims as well.
I'm intrigued.
Yeah, because while The Secret has some inspiring stories
Yeah.
and, some empowering concepts,
For sure.
we need to look at it with a critical eye
Yeah.
and consider all sides.
Absolutely.
Stay tuned for part 2,
Okay.
where we'll tackle the criticisms head on
I'm ready.
and see if we can find that sweet spot
Mm-hmm.
between blind faith and healthy skepticism.
All right. I'm in.
Great. Welcome back to our deep dive into The Secret.
Yeah.
So in part 1, we looked at all those core principles of the law of attraction,
Right.
dove into all those crazy, inspiring stories of manifestation,
Yep.
and even touched on some of those bolder claims.
For sure.
But now we got to address the elephant in the room.
What's that?
The criticisms.
Yeah, there's definitely been some controversy around the book.
For sure. And honestly, some of it's warranted.
I agree.
Like, one of the biggest criticisms I've heard is that The Secret, like, oversimplifies complex issues.
Okay.
And it can even sound like it's blaming people for their problems.
Like it's all your fault.
Right.
If you just thought better.
Yeah, if you're not successful or healthy or in love, it's because you haven't mastered this whole positive thinking thing.
Right, and that can be a dangerous message.
Totally.
Especially for people who are already struggling.
Yeah.
It ignores all those other factors, like systemic issues,
right,
social injustice,
yeah,
and even just plain old bad luck.
Totally. Like, it's kind of a stretch to say that someone's living in poverty just because they're not thinking wealthy thoughts.
Totally. Life's way more complicated than that.
Yeah.
There's so many factors at play.
Yeah, and blaming everything on our thoughts just feels dismissive.
It does.
Of all that stuff happening outside of our control.
Absolutely.
And this oversimplification feels especially problematic when we're talking about health.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's one thing to try and visualize a parking space, but saying that someone can just think their way out of a serious illness seems irresponsible.
At best.
Right.
Like, we've talked about all those amazing stories in the book.
Yeah, those miracle stories.
Right.
But we got to remember those are just anecdotes.
Yeah, not scientific proof.
If we start believing that healing is all about our thoughts, it can be misleading.
Yeah.
Even harmful.
Yeah, it might discourage people from getting the medical treatment they need.
Right. Like, what if they think they can just think themselves well?
Exactly. We have to approach all of this with a healthy dose of skepticism.
Totally.
And always prioritize professional medical advice.
Always.
Another criticism I've heard is that The Secret can make people feel entitled.
Oh, yeah.
Like they deserve everything they want.
Yeah.
Just because they want it bad enough.
Like we're all just supposed to get what we want.
Yeah.
Without any effort.
Right. Like there's this magic formula for getting everything you desire.
Without putting in the work.
And that's not really how it works.
Right.
The Secret talks about aligning your thoughts and feelings with what you want.
Yeah.
But it also mentions the importance of taking action.
So it's about finding that balance
Yeah.
between intention and effort.
Exactly.
We can't just sit around and expect the universe to hand us everything on a silver platter.
But I do think that's where the book can sometimes fall short.
Okay.
It sets up these unrealistic expectations.
Yeah.
And then people get disappointed.
Right.
When things don't happen as quickly or easily as they'd hoped.
Another thing that people criticize
Yeah.
is The Secret's intense focus on positive thinking. Like, we're not supposed to have any negative emotions.
It's like you have to bury any unpleasant feelings.
Yeah.
And pretend everything's perfect.
Yeah, like we're not allowed to have a bad day.
Right.
Or acknowledge the challenges we're facing.
And that's not healthy.
Right.
It's what some people call toxic positivity.
Oh, yeah.
Where you're basically suppressing or denying your true feelings.
So like sadness, anger, or grief.
Exactly. And that can keep us from processing those emotions in a healthy way.
It's like we're disconnected from our true selves.
So it's good to be positive, but it's also important to acknowledge the whole spectrum of human emotions.
Right. We need to embrace both the light and the shadow.
Exactly.
Now, beyond all these criticisms, there's been a lot of debate about how scientifically valid The Secret actually is.
Right.
It leans heavily on this idea that our thoughts can influence the physical world, even citing quantum physics as evidence.
Right.
But how much scientific support does this claim really have?
That's where things get tricky.
Yeah.
Because while The Secret makes these connections to scientific concepts like energy and vibration, most scientists would say it's oversimplifying things.
Or even misinterpreting
Yeah.
those really complex theories.
So using quantum physics to explain the law of attraction.
Might be a bit of a stretch.
Most physicists would say.
Okay.
They argue that quantum mechanics operates on a subatomic level.
Yeah.
So it doesn't directly translate to our everyday experiences.
So it's cool to think about the potential of consciousness to influence reality.
Yeah.
But we should be careful about calling that scientific proof.
Exactly. It's important to be discerning.
Yeah.
And to know the difference between intriguing possibilities and scientifically proven facts.
Okay, so we've talked about some of the major criticisms of The Secret. Its potential to oversimplify things.
Right.
Blame victims.
Yeah.
encourage a sense of entitlement, promote toxic positivity, and even misinterpret scientific concepts.
But the book has still resonated with so many people.
Millions of people.
Worldwide.
Why do you think that is?
It's a really good question.
Yeah.
And I think it shows just how deeply we all crave hope and empowerment.
Yeah.
We want to believe that we have more control over our lives than we thought we did.
The Secret, even with its flaws, offers this compelling story that taps into that desire.
It gives us that feeling of possibility.
Yeah.
That we can create a better future for ourselves.
Even if we don't agree with everything in the book, there are still some really valuable takeaways that can inspire positive change.
Like what?
Well, the emphasis on gratitude.
Okay.
The power of visualization, and the importance of aligning our thoughts and feelings with our desires.
Those are all good things,
right?
Whether or not you believe in the law of attraction.
So it's about taking what works for you and applying it in a way that feels authentic and empowering.
Yeah, I like that.
So we should approach The Secret critically, but we can also appreciate how inspiring it can be.
For sure.
All right, so for the last part of our deep dive, we're going to switch gears and look at how we can apply The Secret to our lives.
Sounds good.
In a grounded and balanced way.
I'm in.
Welcome back to the final part of our deep dive into The Secret. So we've unpacked all the principles, explored the criticisms. Now let's get practical. If someone's intrigued by this whole secret thing, but they want to apply it to their life in grounded way. Where do they even start?
I think the most important thing to remember is that The Secret isn't some magic formula. You don't just read it and suddenly your life is perfect.
Yeah, it takes effort.
So it's not about passively wishing for things.
It's about being active.
You have to engage with the process.
Okay, so break it down for me.
So you get clear about what you want. You have to believe that it's possible.
Yeah.
And then you take action.
So it's aligning your actions with your thoughts and feelings.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's talk about some practical steps for applying The Secret in a balanced way.
One of the most important things is gratitude.
Oh.
The book really stresses how important it is to appreciate what you already have.
Okay.
So you can attract more abundance.
So instead of focusing on what's missing, we should be focusing on all the good stuff.
Exactly.
What kind of stuff?
Well, your health.
Okay.
The people you love. Even just those simple everyday pleasures.
Yeah, those little things we take for granted.
Right.
And I've heard that The Secret suggests keeping a gratitude journal.
Yeah, writing down what you're grateful for can be super powerful.
Even if they're little things.
Exactly. It helps you focus on what you do have, which helps you create that abundance mindset.
What about visualization?
Oh, that's another big one.
They talk a lot about that in The Secret.
Right. They say you should create a clear picture in your mind of what you want. It's already happening.
You're not just seeing it.
Right. You're using all your senses.
Oh, okay.
Sight, sound, feeling. You want to make it as real as possible.
So if someone's dreaming of starting their own business, they might visualize themselves sitting in that CEO chair, feeling that sense of accomplishment.
Exactly.
It's already real.
It's like you're creating a movie in your mind.
Yeah.
And the more you focus on that positive imagery, the more you align your energy with your goals.
This reminds me of vision boards.
Oh, yeah.
Are those helpful?
They can be.
Okay.
It's like a visual representation of your goals, a reminder of what you're working towards.
So you gather images and words that represent what you want.
Right? And you put them so you can see them every day.
Like Jack Canfield and his dream home.
Exactly.
He put a picture of that house on his vision board.
And he manifested it.
It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, visualization is powerful.
Okay, so we've got gratitude visualization. But what about taking action?
Right, you can't just visualize and then do nothing.
So we have to take steps.
You got to make things happen.
So it's about aligning your actions with your thoughts and feelings.
Exactly.
So that might involve setting goals,
right,
breaking them down into smaller steps, maybe looking for opportunities.
Yeah.
Or just saying yes to new experiences.
It's about creating momentum.
Right.
Taking consistent action.
What's important to remember about those actions?
They should feel good.
Okay.
Not forced.
Okay.
Because when you take aligned action,
yeah,
you open yourself up to new possibilities.
Things you might never have imagined.
That's the magic.
Okay, so we've got gratitude, visualization, inspired action. Any other tips?
One thing that's really important is letting go.
Letting go.
Yeah, The Secret talks about how once you've set your intention and taken action, you have to release your attachment to the outcome.
Like surrender control.
Yeah, and just trust
that the universe has got your back.
Exactly, and that can be hard.
Yeah.
Especially when we're so used to trying to control everything.
So there's like a dance between taking action and letting go.
You got it.
The Secret says that when we loosen our grip on how we think things should happen, we open ourselves up to even bigger possibilities.
The universe works in mysterious ways.
Okay, so as we wrap up our deep dive into The Secret, it seems like the key takeaway isn't about like blindly believing everything the book says or expecting a perfect life.
Life's always going to have its challenges.
Right. It's more about using the book as like a starting point for personal growth.
Like a tool for exploring your own potential.
So take what resonates with you, apply it to your life, and create a life that you truly love.
A life that aligns with your values and your dreams.
And maybe the most important thing is remembering that real happiness isn't about like getting more stuff.
Right.
It's about inner peace and that connection to yourself and the world around you.
Beautifully said.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into The Secret.
It's been fun.
We hope we've like sparked your curiosity and inspired you to explore the power of your own mind.
To create a life that you love.
Until next time.
Yeah.
Keep diving deeper.